I agree.
Yeah,
Thanks, dude.
clap.
Thank you for that one.
I'm glad there's one guy in the audience.
Yes.
Something you talked about much earlier, Trevor, that you told me we should talk more about, and then you actually forgot it in the last game, is expectations, especially on Fnatic, for them to become like one of these top teams in Europe.
Again,
obviously. Losing to Giants in a BU3 series early on in the split can really hurt the team in that case here, and we're kind of expecting them to be just under G2.
Yeah.
And there's kind of Misfits and Fnatic fighting each other, but I think Giants are joining the race here, which is something most people probably didn't expect.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be hyping up the Fnatic versus Misfits matchup.
Oh yeah.
When we get closer to that one. But for now, Fnatic have set their sights on Game 3 on their first series win. Both Giants and Fnatic lost in Week 1. It was a day of losers all day until the end. And now we get to see who's going to come out in advantage. Deficio, you touched on you feel Reckless and Jezzes should have the advantage in this bottom lane. Caps has had the advantage overnight in a favorable matchup for the first 2 games, and in theory, Flaxus should eventually have the advantage over SOAS.
Yeah, I mean, Ilaoi is very strong early on in the lane, just in terms of push. But then, yeah, later she can actually kill the Marker on like 2 or 3 items. But we have to look at the junglers mainly. I think they have actually been the most important guys if we look at the first 20 minutes of both game 1 and 2. One in favor of Memento and one in favor of Amazing, in where they were putting their pressure. The Kha'Zix pick was something I talked a lot about in game 1, about how you want to farm mainly. Your ganks are not as effective as certain other junglers. Good guy Kobe did ping and make sure to highlight that he can actually gank properly if you have CC to set him up. And that is very, very true. So you have a Maokai top lane, you have a Rune Prism mid lane. It's very easy to then jump in and get some damage onto these squishies, like Ilaoi is in the early game, and Talia, of course.
A lot of damage to work with. And I guess now the pressure is really on Amazing to make a more proactive play early, right? Because you know Memento's going to get tankier, you know he's going to have an impact in the late game, and Memento played that Rek'Sai last week in one of the games that he was able to win against Misfits. And let's see what sort of impact Amazing can pull to the table. 10 CS to 4, clearing out the camps. Blue has been started, and Deficio. Dragon #1 is Infernal.
No.
That's going to spice things up a bit.
What does it even do? I don't know anymore.
I guess it's something to do with fire.
Yeah, not really, actually.
Okay, yeah.
So you're kind of wrong there.
All right, fair enough.
But
I'll take that.
It is obviously our favorite. I'm glad we can still talk about it. A year later, it's still something we can talk about.
It is impactful in that it sweetens the pot around making a play around bot lane. Is it going to be the deciding factor? No, likely not. But if you get an advantageous push, if you get a good gank, you can extend that lead even further with a very good Dragon.
So let's look at where the junglers can gank. If you are Amazing, we highlighted the 2 solo laners for obviously multiple reasons. There's CC to set it up. Very easy to get isolation damage as well when it's just a single guy sitting in that lane. Memento's on the Raptor camp. Amazing finds him. They have to share some of them. Obviously, the small ones give the most XP now, so Amazing can be okay happy keeping some of those alive. Unless you're a jungler, actually, I want to just quickly add that one in, because when you have the jungle item, you actually get more XP, because you get the bonus from the big one. So, advantage for Memento.
Yeah, I think he's getting some of those. Got them Hunter's Machete to Talisman for Amazing. Amazing and Memento going to go toe-to-toe. There's a couple of pings.
Sneaky.
Caps was making his way around the side.
Yeah, and Source can actually move from top lane first in case a fight does happen. That means Amazing has a way out, and that's why he feels confident going in. Had Source been pushed back to his turret, Amazing would never have invaded, because then suddenly it's Ilaoi walking down.
It was good to see Caps moving, though. It was good to see the, to use the word synergy in terms of moving around the map, and Amazing didn't overstay.
He's still in there, just trying to track Memento. That's kind of the key thing for Amazing here. If he prevents Memento from trying to get like a flash gank on any of these solo lanes, he's buying time for Maokai and Ryze to scale. So that's actually really smart by Amazing, just kind of trading time and tracking Memento.
All right, Caps takes the worst end of a trade in the mid lane. Hustling gets caught out. Look at that damage from Jezzes. Make it rain into the double up. And that means Hustling's forced to 200 HP. Reckless and Jezzes, they're not done yet. They're chasing forward. Flash into Exhaust. Defensive flash. Reckless gets over the roots. Exhaust comes out as well. 4 summoners blown from Fnatic. but they don't get the kill.
Oh, that was very aggressive by Fnatic's bottom lane. No flash used by Hostlin, only one actually saving that one. That suddenly opens up for the junglers to look bottom lane, especially Memento on this Rex side. It's gonna be super easy for him to gank, flash in, and just get a knock up from Zyra right after, or a snare. And that suddenly is an opening, so I feel like Memento has a lot of lanes he can look to. Source might be one of the hardest ones to gank, because he's not taking any damage in any of these in any of these trades, but he will later. Mid lane against Caps to at least blow some summoners. But bot lane suddenly is very juicy for a Rek'Sai. Not so cool for Kha'Zix.
Not yet.
Not yet. Give him a bit more time.
Yeah, wait for level 6 and that'll change. We're going to go back to that trade in the mid lane. Knight, even CS with Caps, both of them at level 6. Flash cleanse for Knight, so he can look to roam if an opportunity presents itself.
It's what we talked about. Taliyah can go even in this lane just fine and just kind of keep the wave in the middle. That's why he was blind picked as well by Knight. And Taliyah's impact against Ryze is mainly on, I'm going to snowball my side lanes so you don't have time to scale into a late game monster, because we're winning top, we're winning bot because of my ultis on Taliyah. It is available now. It's always the moment we're waiting for. Ultis, they get ready on things like Rek'Sai and things like Taliyah, and we can start seeing the global plays. There's no flash bot lane from Fnatic. Memento is down here, as we highlighted. If Knight can actually push out mid and roam, that's a 4v2 dive.
And there's no teleport for Soaz to respond. To be fair, Flaxish doesn't have his either.
But you don't need it, because your mid lane is joining.
Yeah, Vision being pushed very, very deep. Giants signaling this.
And it basically means Caps has to play very aggressive in mid in pushing back to Taliyah. If he can push Taliyah back to her turret, she can't leave without, he sees it right in front of him. Taliyah has to sacrifice farm. He calls it, so his bot lane just backs away early, and Taliyah can't really go for that dive.
In a perfect world, that is what should be happening. Let's see whether or not Fnatic can keep that up. In game number 1, there was a mistake. Soaz engages onto Flaxish with the ulti, and looking at the minimap, Memento still hanging around.
Still hanging around, and the control wall was placed by Taliyah just in that side lane bush in her mid lane to see if she can move down out of vision very quickly. Memento is still waiting, but because Caps is moving first and keeping the wave in the middle, Knight has not been able to leave.
Caps might be the one that's in a little bit of trouble. Gets tagged by that threaded volley.
It's always one of the fun things about competitive League of Legends, how the fate of the bottom lane is basically decided by Caps in the mid lane. If he's able to keep Knight here, the bot lane stays alive. They get their flashes back, and it's much safer, because Memento is still hanging around.
The tension continues to build. Reckless
He's actually lost a lot of time.
Below to 50%. Amazing's been able to farm back up, but there's going to be a fight in the middle lane. It's all the isolated damage. Memento gets flashed on. Exhaust slows down the damage, and it's first blood to Caps. The Realm Warp is going to deliver Caps into nowhere. He stepped off it, and it's Reckless that gets a second kill.
So Caps stopped Taliyah from roaming. That bought enough time for Amazing to go back to base and then come down to the bottom lane. Memento was still waiting. He's level 5 now. He was just sitting there, waiting and waiting and waiting. And then suddenly he finds a Kha'Zix and he's alone. That's a nightmare. Kha'Zix is also level 6. Makes it even worse. And suddenly, huge advantage for Fnatic. And that Infernal Drake you talked about, Trevor, that is your reward.
And 2 kills.
Okay.
But I think a lot of credit to Fnatic. It really looked like they sniffed out that dive and were prepared for it. Caps left so early.
Yeah, I mean, it's just understanding how is the enemy team comp going to, you know, get kills. Well, that's how they're going to get them, so that's how we're going to counter it. Like, we know, when we know what the play is, it's much easier to counter the play.
So who knew Fnatic playing a standard team composition in a standard style is helping them? It's the second game in a row now that they've had a very strong opening. Plus 20 CS top, plus 10 CS and a kill AD, and even though Caps is behind, he's going to kill to balance that out.
Yeah, he's definitely doing more than fine in here. He's going to get that Rod of Ages fairly early, start stacking even faster, and it really is on Memento and Knight to get to one of these side lanes. Sadly for them, flashes are now ready in the bottom lane. Source is just sitting up top lane. He doesn't even care about disallow. He's winning on CS, he's been winning trades.
Oh, he's winning the fight. He's winning the fight. Vengeful Maelstrom. Flaxish. Oh, it's going to flash away to safety. Oh, the leap of faith does nothing. Oh, man. Maokai cares not for the tentacles.
He does not. And the reason the ulti was used here by Lowry was because you actually get untargetable for just a short, brief moment. So if Source had flashed in for an auto attack, he wouldn't have gotten it. And also the damage from tentacles could maybe have turned it around. Fnatic's bottom lane, they're feeling confident now because they just saw that Amazing was near the bottom lane and they can now push in, and Caps as well.
Caps doesn't care. Runs right through the unraveled earth. Trades onto Knight. Gets knocked backwards by the seismic shove. Here comes Amazing. Is on the hunt. Punk's gonna hop over the wall if he can.
Nice
Caps gets delivered.
Oh, he's out of there.
He survives. The fight's not done. Momentum Amazing. Caps flashes back in.
Damn it, Memento, you're ruining it.
From Soaz. Caps looks for the hunt further. Holy cow. Reckless died as well. There's those plant mechanics when Soaz can't get in range. And this time round, Amazing and Caps, they looked better on that dive.
What a nice ulti by Caps, by the way, with the flash from Knight over the wall. And also the Rise being like, I don't care about your damage. You have like a Negatron cloak, you deal nothing. Tank the whole thing, take the trade, almost set up the dive. We want to see how Reckless died bot lane, because that was just pure 2v2.
Hold that thought, because Flexish is getting jumped on. There's no flash this time round. No ultimate either. Soaz decides against the tower dive. Those tentacle smashes and harsh lessons, keeping it going. Oh, this could get risky. A few more seconds and Flexish catches ulti.
And Soul's been getting some very good recalls on this one. First one was like Double Dorns, Dark Seal, then you got Barmy Cinder, Ninja Tappy. It's almost impossible for the Allow to kill him. And Knight!
Oh, so much damage. He's going to be able to escape, though.
Actually, that was barely any damage.
I was anticipating it.
Yeah, you were predicting.
Caps has to land the Q for the damage to hit.
Very true.
I was unable to do so that time round, but overall, Fnatic just extend that lead even further. 2,000 gold.
Oh,
he's
waiting. The trap is going in!
Goes in indeed. Gets away with a good trade. So as using that Sap Magic and...
We're waiting for items on Ilaoi first. So this is a trade in mid. Talia's damage doesn't really hurt Caps at all, but there's no flash for Amazing here. If he had flash, instant kill on Knight. But then Knight flashes over, Caps obviously follows instantly, good prediction. The rest of Giants are joining. Nice ulti from Knight.
So good.
All right, bot lane, what happened here? What happened here? Pure 2v2.
Chain of Corruption.
Level 7 on Reckless. Just get, yeah. Whoops.
Yep. Oopsie indeed.
Actually step back in as well.
Yeah. Oh, hashtag sad panda.
Whoops.
Oh, that just wasn't cool. Up in the top lane. Flexish is down. He gets dunked in a double team combo.
Love it.
I love seeing the player reactions, but it always feels bad, doesn't it? See that emotion? Ash Arrow onto Memento. He's going to try to flash away and then tunnel. A lot of safety, but Summoner Spell blown. Reckless and Jezzes will be happy with that one.
All right, Source no teleport, used it back to his lane, so Giants can actually push this bot lane tower. Reckless no flash, he can't really get too close here, but Source obviously being the big carry in the top lane, using that Maokai to its full effect, winning this lane really easily, honestly. Like, I don't think Ilaoi has at any point in this early game done anything to Source.
None whatsoever. Soaz built up a 40 CS advantage, with Memento showing his face in the bottom lane. Oh, Knight's in trouble. Knight's in trouble. Overloads. That gets you the kill. Okay, champions don't matter. Caps undoubtedly stomping on Knight in the mid lane.
I just really like to see Fnatic leave that last pick for him, so he can get whatever he wants in the mid lane. He can get a good matchup for himself as well. Talia trying to even it out, but Caps right now picking up the kills. 2-0 on this Rise. Bot lane suddenly is the focus for Fnatic. Giants realizes that's going to happen. There's nope out of it. But this tower now is going to take a lot of damage. And while Giants did get the first tower, Fnatic can still even out. And they have a fairly large goal lead already.
Yeah, they really do. Continues to grow, especially once this tower falls down. And Officio, there is some defensive pressure here from Giants. Tower stands for a few autos longer. Chain of Corruption slowly spreading. That's going to hold down Caps. A flash forward for Amazing. That's already a kill onto Hiku. Amazing with the Void Assault. He's exhausted on the damage. He's going to get taken down by Knight, and the defensive wall gets interrupted. The double kill for Caps. Looking for the triple, but it will not be secured. Jezzes secures.
The Giants in the end trying to defend a little bit too late to actually show up. Lost a member very early, and Fnatic feel like they're still in full control. This Ilaoi needs 2 items, even a bit of MR before she can really start being a big enough threat to win the game for Giants. Probably will not even happen in time because Fnatic are just so far ahead with the rest of the members here. Bot lane, the Kha'Zix is doing really well. Caps gets caught, but he doesn't really care. Like, he actually returns way more damage back to Varus here. The classic AD carry versus mid lane. Not always a fair fight.
No, absolutely not. Oh, the damage from that spell flux. Knight even leaves the door open for Caps.
Caps tried to BM in the end.
So,
keeping a third kill.
Deficio, a 4-0-3 Caps with Roa stacking, Tia stacking at 15 minutes.
Trev, remember when we talked about how Fnatic solo laners really want to scale into late game while it's up to Giants to use the Taliyah ulti, the Rek'Sai ulti to kind of pressure the side lanes and get the advantage? Right. Do you feel like Giants have been able to get that advantage? Have they stopped the scaling from the solo laners?
Quite simply, my dear, no. They have been stomped. Jesus gets knocked backwards. That was a good combo from Knight. Jez is still alive.
Well, who's winning here?
Gets the bullet timeout, but it took some support from Memento to help out, and there we go. Support MF for Jez's. He deals the deeps.
He does. Still gets caught, which I guess it doesn't matter which champion you're actually playing. Almost returned the kill. Giants are looking for some of these random picks here to get a small numbers advantage to try and see if they can get some damage on top and mid tower. Ideally, they can try and go top lane and maybe punish Source and kind of snowball this Ilaoi a little bit. But whenever they go top, it should be spotted, and Fnatic should be able to do something in return.
Deficio, look at your minimap. Fnatic's coming up with that Realm Warp available. Ash Arrow is also available for Reckless. I'm waiting to see which direction it goes. Caps has already jumped into the fight, will not be needed. Really easy 2-on-1.
And this is where communication starts falling apart. Caps had left that bot lane long time ago. And he was not going to return because he was waiting for it to push back. So him actually going for a lane gank is something you can call, if you remember. Giants did not call it. Ilaoi got caught.
Get punished for it.
And Caps is fed as beat.
And this is what expectations were for the series, game 2 and 3. When Fnatic play the meta, when they make use of their superstar mid laner, despite the fact he's a rookie, skill showing through, and he's clearly had an advantage over Knight. Reckless gets caught down, heal and flash is still available, throws down the flash to get away. That means he's going to be a juicy target if he presents himself.
Yeah, but it's not really about Reckless in this game. Like, he's also going full CDR build, so just all about him actually just landing an arrow and just set up Caps and Amazing here, because Caps and Amazing will deal all the damage you need. And at this point as well, when you start falling behind this much early, you still have to spread out on the map to like push multiple lanes, and it just allows Kha'Zix to find so many openings. Amazing can walk into the enemy jungle, and he doesn't care who he finds, because he can win that 1v1. And that's something that makes it almost impossible to play now if you are Giants, because they were the ones who were supposed to push with Taliyah. Then she roams away, she ultis behind the tower, you set up that like play with Varus ulti and Zyra ulti, and then you kill them under that turret, but that's not gonna happen.
And it never got the chance. Fnatic thwarted Giants' first attempt. Memento spent so much time.
Too much time.
So much time trying to make it happen, and like, yes, it's very clear there's a game plan, but it cannot be at the cost of your team or your farm.
And then also Source winning top lane this hard, you know, does impact certain things, because they couldn't go top and maybe dive the Maokai. If you think back to when Source were playing the Ilaoi, he was actually able to, like level 6 or 7, get some pretty good poke down on the Maokai, get him low, get him on the turret, and suddenly there was a chance to actually go top and kill this guy. Didn't happen this game. So there was only bot lane.
Is he going to flash over the wall? Wait for the minion wave.
He's going to sapling and kill steal. Trust me.
Sapling and kill steal. Flash is available. Support from Amazing. Flashes over. Locks down. Instant cleanse from Knight. Here
sapling.
Comes Caps.
Damn it.
No, Caps gets the kill. Flaxish finishes the teleport. Gets stunned. Reckless lands the connection. Flaxish is down. Cap to the double kill. Increases it to 6. Unfortunately, Amazing loses his life for this one. Reckless, no flash available. Realm Warp, here comes Caps! He brings support, and Giants run away. Very good unburrow from Memento. The shield comes up for Caps. Stranglethorns buys time. Giants are aced!
Fnatic are so far ahead in this game. There's almost nothing Giants can do to actually win. Full control of the map. Baron hasn't even spawned yet. You got double Infernal Drake. Give it some more scaling. You only have a Maokai and a Ryze, you know. Why not get some Infernal Drakes? This game is basically impossible now for Giants to win unless Fnatic really start messing up. But that should be impossible. Like, they are so far ahead.
So what's your take on Giants now? You know, last week they had a good showing in game 1 against Misfits, and then it fell apart. This week, the same thing. Here's a replay of it falling apart quite dramatically.
Yeah, I mean, the big highlight of this replay, honestly, is the arrow coming from Reckless. He sees the TP. He times it so well with the arrow, and actually managed to just lock down Ilaoi instantly. Well played by him. And really not much else here. The ultis from Caps have been fantastic. Use it really well. This one too, obviously, save Reckless and then try and go for more kills. But Giants, I feel like Giants are showing some okay things.
Yeah.
I don't think they are looking like terrible or anything. And them facing G2 and Fnatic
Tough.
is obviously very hard in this group here. The fact they lost to Misfits last week can end up hurting them a lot if they're actually trying to get into playoffs. Because I think the way we're judging these teams now, like Fnatic, Misfits, where we kind of have a few questions who's the best, but G2 is the clear best in this group. And it's going to be really difficult for Giants to get wins against some of these teams if they couldn't get it here.
And it's so important to note, obviously, your top 3 teams advance to playoffs. Spot number 4 is the safe one in the group, and then spot number 5 heads to the promotion tournament. And for Giants, yeah, I liked what I've seen in game 1 of each of the respective series.
I like
Misfits and
some of
Fnatic.
game 2 as well. I think this game is what happens. It can happen for almost any team where you end up only having like one game plan, which is dive the bot lane because your top lane is now winning, and that becomes too predictable.
Yeah.
It gets countered, you end up just falling too far behind against Ryze and Kha'Zix, and then you really can't do a whole lot.
No, absolutely not. Soaz gets locked down. Unraveled Earth. Not really going to do a whole lot. Weaver's wall held him in place, but at the end of the day, Soaz tanks up a lot. Double flash, does that look like? Maybe just a sidestepped, in fact, single flash. Soaz continues to chase. Reckless gets a kill with the volley, and Fnatic, you know, it's 9,000 gold in the head, in the lead, double infernals, 22 minutes. They have everything.
And worst feeling ever, when you're not even a target of the arrow, but the other guy flashes, you just take it straight in the face, and then you end up dying. Poor hustling goes down. Everything is going wrong for Giants in this game. Game 1, game 2, ton of hype, back and forths.
Yeah.
This game here, Fnatic showing pure dominance.
Showing, maybe showing their ceiling a little bit. Now, I'm not saying it's capped, right? But I'm showing how good they can be. Understanding the comps, understanding their enemies, playing appropriately, and they've just snowballed phenomenally well.
And I really also want to go back to the draft and this first pick, Zyra. Yes, they got a kill in the bottom lane, but when MF is available, Kha'Zix, in my opinion, just has more value as a first pick. And then if they go Zyra, you go MF anyway, and you're happy with that anyway. You're happy with that trade. But they value the Zyra, maybe because Hostin doesn't want to play the MF. I mean, it's always
a possibility,
right?
That's
the case, but this far into, I was about to say into the split, but this far into like this meta and these patches we've been playing on, where MF has been a strong counter pick ever since Worlds, that's not really an excuse anymore. Like, you have to be able to play every single matchup of like these standard meta picks. Man, hustling.
Oh, it's so unlucky.
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 That's what you get for first picking Zyra.
Oh, I like that. That's what you get for first picking Zyra. Fnatic, 4-0-3 for Soaz, 6-0-7 for Caps. They got the Mountain Drake all in the replay. Soaz is fighting against a Black Cleaver, a pickaxe, and a longsword, and he doesn't care. No. Still able to out-split push. And the Alawi, I'm going to use this term loosely, the Alawi counter has not really been effective today, has it, Deficio?
No, definitely has not been effective. He's trying to fight now.
All right, let's take a look. Leap of Faith comes down. Soaz realizes he doesn't want to fight in the tentacles.
And that was like the perfect combo where you're able to hit both the Maokai and the clone as well to get even more damage down with your ulti, with your Q. Soaz just kind of walks out of it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Ryze is pretty positive.
Oh,
when
yes.
He's already late game. Like, he's already late game 24 minutes in.
Yep.
3 fully stacked items, 24 minutes in.
That's pretty harsh. Even a Realm Warp. Save some time. 10 seconds.
Effective. I like it.
I like it too. Baron is being rushed down here by Fnatic. Guys, oh, they're not even going to be able to arrive in time. Oh, that was just really good. By Hustlin, he gets tanked up. There you go.
It's your fault, man.
First picking Zyra when MF is available. Lesson of the day.
And Kha'Zix, just to add some more context, so people don't, you know, cut it short there. And they just hear Trevor yell, first pick Zyra is bad, which is not.
When MF and Kha'Zix are available.
Yeah, context
it's really long with that quote.
It is.
Is caught up, Memento chases in, Hikyu gets a kill, but it's Memento that goes down. The tower falls as well. So it's a small win for the Giants squad. There's still 12,000 gold down. And Reckless, well, the game's not about him. The game is about is about so as amazing in caps.
And that's important for Fnatic, honestly, that some of these new guys on the team, fun to say new guy with Source on Fnatic, he's obviously been there for many years in the past. But
new old guys.
Yeah, the new old guys, like him coming in, the fact that Caps and Source and Amazing can have games where they're the ones who's like carrying the entire game, and Reckless and Jessis can just go even in the bottom lane. Reckless has always been a guy where there's been a lot of debate about him as a, individual carry, a utility player. When he had Huni and Rainover, it was very much utility every single time. When he didn't have Huni Rainover, he was often put in a carry position. And we've seen, honestly, I think, enough games where he did manage to carry, but also enough games where he would have been better on utility. So it's very debatable where people like him the most, but I like utility Reckless a lot. He's always played that role really well.
Very useful in the current meta as well.
Very useful in the current meta.
And I'm excited to see where the team goes. Fnatic, we're quietly optimistic around the potential of the team. If they can fix some of the mistakes, if Amazing can have this game level of impact more frequently. Brown Warp is going to deliver Soaz to the back line. Hustlin finally has a flash available, but he's going to need it very, very soon. Knight is going to get jumped down. Amazing flashes over and leaps forward. Now Flaxish is the target. He uses that leap of faith to buy some time to at least squash the bug that is Amazing, but he doesn't get more than that. Caps flashes away from the Nexus turrets. It's all coming apart. It's another ace, and Fnatic are destroying Giants' base.
Yeah, this is why we have the 3 games now. Fnatic showing in the last game they are the better team, completely outplaying Giants. And they can be happy with this game.
Caps putting on a show, dancing at the fountain. Fnatic at 27 minutes. Obliterate Giants. And Fnatic pick up the first win of the Spring Splits.
This was a game where Giants had some very clear things they had to do in the early to mid game. But when Source